Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Today I am working on a new client, a new young lady. She was so much fun, I loved her. And we are starting off with some tips that I've already applied to her nails and cut down. Now I'm just using a straight edge clipper to kind of take away some of the excess tips. She wanted more of a tapered shape, not necessarily a tight coffin, because as you can see, her nails are not particularly long. And with the width of her nail bed, if you go in with that tight coffin, it's going to look more like a failed stiletto. So I'm just using my medium grit hand file to file that tip a little bit narrower, but it's that word, man, narrower. But it's not going to be a tight coffin. Just give the illusion, just because the length is not all the way there, to kind of squeeze that coffin shape and make it look nice for the length of her nail. If you're looking at my hand and wondering what all that gorgeous bling is, I recently released a video showing this set. It is a set that I did on myself not long ago. I am loving the bling, but I'm really not feeling the rest of the set. I just think it's a little too plain, and I don't know why, but I always end up doing these kinds of like nude nothing sets that are just like kind of soft and pretty. I'm definitely going to start pushing myself to do more, not wild, but just colorful and more impactful designs. Because if I have my way, every single set I do is going to look exactly like that, so we'll be better. I'm going in with a fine grit sanding band. This is the same sanding band that I used to prep her actual nail, and as you can see, I'm just only using it to blend the tip, so I'm not applying it as best as I can to her natural nail. I am just blending the edge of that tip so that we don't have that weird smile line raised up off of her nail bed. This helps so that when you apply your acrylic, whether or not you use a clear bead or not, you won't get that weird smile line in your acrylic application. It'll just be a nice smooth foundation so that you can just lay that product down easily. And now it's time to prep her nails. I'm going in with my normal Mia Secret dehydrator, Mia Secret primer, and then a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. I like to keep my Protein Bond in that little silicone container holder. That bottle is really tiny, and I've knocked over and spilled a little, too many of them. So I just leave my Protein Bond in that container, and when it runs low, I just pour another bottle into this one. So I've been rocking out with this one bottle for a while, but I really do love the Protein Bond from Young Nails. And speaking of Young Nails, we're going in with the Young Nails Core Clear. I am still using the Mia Secret monomer though. I have a huge 32-ounce container that I found recently, and just, I'm exploring working with it again. It is very slow setting, which is great for beginners, but I appreciate it because it gives me a lot of time to just kind of work and mold and move the product around. Not always is that something that I'm looking for, but for right now it's kind of nice, and I don't want to waste it. Like, I'm using it. So I'm just using that Young Nails Core Clear to fill in her natural nail, so basically covering not the tip but just where her natural nail is. This helps me always, so that when the client comes back for a new set or a refill or a redesign, I don't have to file down to their natural nail. I can just file down to this clear acrylic layer. It helps to protect them so that they don't get too much wear and tear from e-files, and it helps just in case we have any issues with staining. This color is pretty light, so it probably won't give us an issue, but like if you were using a black or super pigmented yellow or blue, sometimes it does stain the nail plate. Also, if you're using a glitter, we don't want glitters on the natural nail. So the color that we're using today, the client actually chose. She was really excited about this turquoise color, and it's a recent one. I actually got it recently from Sugar and Cream. It is called Ivy, and it's a part of one of their newer identity collections of different names, and each color represents a name of a person. So I thought that was really cool. This color is a bright, it's kind of like a minty turquoise, but it's not pastel minty. It's like really full-on color, basically. So I am going in with a simple, application. I did spill a little bit, but you just use the tip of your brush to kind of sweep away that excess of product, no biggie. And yeah, we're just going to be giving all of these nails, except for one, just a solid base of color. We are going to be clear capping these nails afterwards, but I just want to make sure that we have a good foundation of color on all of the nails. So she didn't plan for it, but I just thought that we should do something a little bit special on this finger. She ended up loving it and I was happy for her. So I'm just going in and marbling her ring finger with the same ivy green color and just a little bit of white. I am using baby powder by iGel Beauty. It was the first white that I can find, but any white would do. And I am basing it off of a clear base. So I'm adding a clear bead of acrylic, I'm adding the ivy color and then a little bit of white, and then I'm swirling with a wet brush. This is how I get marbles that are mostly clear and you get wisps of the color instead of it being a full-on colored marble. I just thought that this was really going to be pretty and soft. She also mentioned that she loved gold and wanted to see that in the set, so we are going to be adding tiny pieces of gold foil to this nail as well. And it's just a nice, you know, difference in the set. It adds a little something, and yeah, I thought it was cool. It broke up the pattern of just solid nails, and the marble came out nice. So yeah. Now I'm going in with the same Young Nails Core Clear, and I am just clear capping all of her nails. The purpose here is just to make sure that I encapsulate that color completely. The nails are not particularly long, so we don't have to build up structure at all. Not at all, but for the most part, they're not going to need too much before breaking. And I'm just making sure to encapsulate that color so that when I go into file, I don't remove anything, especially on that marble as well. But just being careful not to flood the cuticle or sidewall areas and to maintain the shape. You're going to see me swiping at the sidewalls a lot. I don't want these nails to kind of warp and lose the shape that we filed in the beginning. Now I've got my Young Nails dust collector and my medium grit hand file, and I am just making sure to clean up the shape of these nails. Often when applying that clear acrylic layer, I get the shape that I filed in the beginning gets a little bit soft. It's not a big deal, but I think that for the length of nails that we're going for here, that the crisper the nail, the better. So I'm just using that file to kind of make sure that the edges are nice and sharp. I'm going to be doing my up and down perpendicular filing on the tip of the nail. I like to squeeze that finger as tight as possible. And it gives me a really nice sharp free edge, and we're just going to do a little bit of surface filing as well. The application is fairly smooth, so it's just to get a preliminary surface file as well. So that's basically what's happening here. Now I'm going in with my Melody Susie Scamander E-file and an extra fine tapered 5-in-1 carbide bit, and I am cleaning mostly the cuticle area. I'm going along the surface a little bit. There's not much to do because the nails are fairly short, but I'm just making sure that the surface of the nails are very smooth, cleaning that cuticle and sidewall area, making sure that there's no acrylic on the skin, and that's pretty much it for this one. I'm gonna go back in and buff her nails with a 240 block just to smooth them out a lot. Make sure that they're nice and smooth. These are a short, simple set. She was a nice, beautiful spirit. I loved talking to her throughout this whole appointment, and I had her wash her hands. Now I sprayed her with some Young Nails Swipe. I like to do this for clients as well. Even when they do wash their hands, you don't know if there's going to be like a residue from the soap or anything like that. So I sprayed her hands with some Young Nails Swipe and used a manicure brush. I love to use a manicure brush as well because it helps to remove any debris or dust that might be in the cuticle or sidewall areas. You just never know, and this always helps me. I just feel better about it. Last step is just to apply some glossy top coat, have her cure, and we are done. This is what the set came out looking like. It was really simple and pretty, and I loved it. Hopefully you like this video. Like if you like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.